All rise. Support court is now in session. Judges case number JVB1085, Campbell case.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, you may be seated. I'm Judge Brian D. Woodard, and ma'am, you brought this case before me. Matter of fact, before I get started on anything, I see your both last names are Campbell.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So what is your first name?
Kelly Campbell.
Kelly Campbell.
Yes.
And you, ma'am?
I'm Rochelle, but you can call me Ro.
Okay, Rowan and
Kelly.
Kelly, okay. Yes. Kelly Rowan, let me go there because if I forget it, because Rowan Kelly. All right, so let's get started. So go ahead and tell me about this.
My name is Kelly Campbell, the best project manager the city has to offer. I brought my cousin to court because she's attempting to want to get involved in her son's life all of a sudden. But her choices, they're poor. She has childish behavior and she's not taking care of her responsibilities. Simple.
She's not taking care of her responsibilities. How does she have children with you or living with you or?
She has a son, 6 years old.
6 years old?
Yes.
And so what makes her childish?
She's just,
girl,
she wanna be in these streets. Hold
on one second. We're going to get to that part.
I'm real grown.
Okay, Miss Grown. One thing about it is grown people don't have to tell other grown people that they're grown. So just wait till I get to you and then we're going to go ahead and get this train moving. But I'm going to get to you.
Yes, sir.
Miss Rowe. Yeah, R-O, really obvious. All right, let's go.
If you could change the R to a H. But the point, what I'm saying is.
We're not going there, but go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and over like that. I understand, but let's go ahead and get to business.
She's childish because she chooses to mix up her priorities.
Okay.
It's not flying, Your Honor. Her child, it's about 105 degrees. She has no AC. She has a gym fan circulating in the home.
The window was cracked. The window was cracked.
Ladies, let me go ahead and get something straight right here because I just want this to go smoothly. And I know how ladies are sometimes. Y'all like to talk and get your point across, and you're going to be heard. I promise you're going to be heard. But being heard this way is not going to fly. So let's go ahead and continue without any interruptions. Ms. Rowe.
Got it.
When it's time for you to go, I will go back to you, Ms. Rowe.
Yes.
But for right now, please keep quiet. Can we do that? Let's get this show back on the road.
Thank you, because she's rude.
I didn't ask about what she is. I'm just asking you to go ahead and continue to tell me what you're going to do.
I stand corrected.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Let's go.
I apologize. As I mentioned, her 6-year-old is in very poor conditions. Circulating hot air with hot air is not going to fly. As I mentioned, the temperatures are high. She leaves a bowl of noodles, chicken flavor, for her son, Capri Suns that aren't refrigerated. The child is so behind educationally. All he know how to do is whoa. It's just a lot going on. I don't like it, and I am going to be the provider for her child. And that's it, point blank.
Okay. And Ms. Campbell, what are you actually asking for before I go further into this?
Honestly, I want the full custody of her child, Caleb.
Okay.
And I would like her to pay me since she wants other men to pay her. But that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to tell me before I move on to Ms. Rose?
I want you to see that she's truly childish, lax.
I didn't ask for insults. I said, is there anything that you want to tell me?
I didn't know that was an insult. It's really factual. No, that's it.
Get ready, because this story dives straight into some serious family drama. Kelly Campbell isn't just a cousin. She's stepped up to raise 6-year-old Caleb full-time while Rose, his mom, is off doing who knows what. Kelly's been dealing with extreme heat and poor conditions at Caleb's old home, where the child was basically being neglected. She's had enough and is now asking the court for full custody and child support. No more excuses. But things get heated fast. Before the judge can even finish the introductions, Rose is already talking back. And when the judge has to stop the hearing just to calm things down, you know it's about to get intense.
All right. Well, see, this is going to be a challenge. Whew, don't you know? Miss Rowe, let's go. Continue this show.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, so they keep saying I'm crazy, right? They took my baby from me and gave it to her because I had a little date. I spent the block. I left him at the house by
himself. You spent the what?
The block. we went to Perry's. Me and his, he was tall, dark, and handsome. But I was gonna bring him a pork chop special back. So I went on this little day, left him at the house by himself. I gave him some noodles, a Capri Sun, and they call themselves saying, "Oh, you can't leave the baby at the house by himself." I'm like, look, he was good. It was just for like 2 hours. I was gonna be right back, and I was gonna bring him back.
Wait a minute, how long?
Like 2 hours. We
2
had
hours.
reservations, so we was gonna get right in.
So you made reservations and you left your child with her for just 2 hours. Was it just for that night?
It was not 2 hours, Your Honor. It was 6 hours plus 2 bonus hours because she wanted to have a rendezvous.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, continue this. Yeah, this
Thank
is
you.
I really want to hear this one.
She think because she got a pool.
But I ain't worried about that. Let's get to the facts.
Okay,
Go ahead.
sorry. So I spent the block, ran to the Bears with the fella. You know what I'm saying? He was fine. Okay. So look, I'm trying to get him a stepdad. I was gonna bring him back a pork chop special. Have you had one of them Perry's pork chops?
You trying to get a
It's like
stepdaddy?
this,
Listen, you're trying to go and get a stepdaddy
For the baby.
for a pork chop with a pork chop. Is
I
that
was
how?
gonna bring him the pork chop bag.
And so you expect him to be stepdaddy because you brought him bringing the pork chop because you bring. I want him to be my
bringing the
stepdaddy.
baby.
So maybe if I give him a pork chop, he gonna be my.
I'll bring the baby back a pork chop.
Oh, the baby! You bring the baby a pork
I
chop,
went on
not the man a pork chop.
No, the man was gonna buy the baby a pork chop.
Okay.
So I'm taking care of him.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, man.
So me and the man went out to dinner. I get back, they all, you're not supposed to leave your baby here, this and this and this. I'm like, he's 6 years old. He got some noodles. He got a couple of Capri Sun. I cracked the window, the fan was on, so he was good.
All right, things take a wild turn when Rose opens her mouth in court. And not in a good way. She admits, with a straight face, that she left little Caleb alone in a scorching house with just some noodles and Capri Suns so she could go to Perry's cookout. Her reason? She planned to bring him back a pork chop. It sounds like a joke, but she's dead serious. She insists she was only gone for 2 hours, but it quickly becomes obvious she doesn't understand just how dangerous and irresponsible that was. The judge is stunned, and the whole courtroom is left in disbelief. At this point, the case shifts from simple family drama to a serious issue of child neglect.
They say I'm unfit. I fight a couple people, bust a few windows, plant some tires, and they think that I can't.
Ma'am, you cannot be serious right now.
Dead.
Are you really serious right now? Number one, you're talking about. Well, first of all, let me say this. How hot is it outside right now?
105. That's the car.
Hold on. I'm asking her. Because you're already at 105 because you're already talking, you heated up, and I understand.
I'm sorry, I'm passionate.
How hot is it outside right
Well, that day it was, because we went at night. So
I didn't ask whether you went at night or anything, because it's still hot at night as well, too.
I mean, about 80, 90, it cooled down. But he had a fan.
And you got a fan. You gave the child a fan in the car.
I cracked the window.
You cracked it. So what is this child, a dog?
No. Caleb, he's a human.
But it's hot outside and you're going to give the child a fan. And then what else?
Capri Sun.
And a Capri Sun.
Two.
Now, let me ask you something. Would you want a hot car or a hot environment and somebody to give you a Capri Sun?
No, I was at Perry's.
You know what? Sometimes you just don't have the words to say. And I guess this is one of those times where, Lord have mercy, I do not have the words to say. Now, this lady right here, Miss, what'd you say your first name was?
Kelly with a capital K.
Miss Kelly with the capital K.
The best project
Okay,
manager.
I didn't ask if you was the best or the worst because you have no proof to tell me if you did right or wrong. It comes to those project managers or whatever else you say. You don't have to build the words up to me.
Kelly.
Okay, but if you don't want to be done that way, why do you think that it's okay to let a child sit like that and treat him like that?
For 2 hours.
It doesn't matter, but I said, would you want that done?
No, but sometimes we gotta go through stuff to get to the bigger picture, and I was working on this.
Well, it looked like you got to the bigger picture with Paris.
I did, and that's when the baby was gonna come with me on there.
I see. Okay,
setting him up.
All right.
This is the moment the judge loses his patience. And honestly, who could blame him? He's had enough of hearing about pork chops and busted windows being passed off as parenting. When Rose claims she left a fan on, the judge fires back. Is this child a dog? Because that's exactly how careless it sounds, how excuses fall apart fast as he points out the obvious. It was 105 degrees outside, and she really thought a Capri Sun made it okay to leave a kid alone. His tone is sharp, fed up, and filled with disbelief. And honestly, the entire courtroom feels the same. At this point, Even the most sympathetic viewer can't deny it. Rose never should have been responsible for that child in the first place.
Miss Rose, how much do you make how much you make a year?
I make 65.
65,000 a year. And doing what again?
I work for insurance.
Insurance. And insurance, yeah, this costs somebody else.
Bag of ballin'.
All right, so before I do anything else, quick question, because I almost forgot. So who pays the health insurance for this child?
I do.
Okay, both of y'all can't say that at the same time. So
I'm the mama.
I pay. It comes out of my check, $350.
I love my baby.
if all you've been talking about is pork chops.
Your Honor,
I can tell you probably been eating a lot of pork chops. Yes, but can you do what?
She says she loves her baby.
Yeah.
The only time she comes around is December the 31st to get his social so she can file him on the taxes. She's trying to get a come up. A come up. She lies, Judge. She puts 8 dependents. She got 1 kid.
And so you're paying they're paying you obviously $65,000 for your income. Are you paying your cousin anything for keeping this child and taking care of this child?
What I'm paying for?
She barely will give me the food stamp. She get $1,500 in the food
Okay,
stamp.
I see where this is going
I want
now,
my
man.
baby back.
Okay, yeah, there's everything. You think the world just revolves around you, because I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. So this is what we're going to do. And it's obviously that, you are going to be paying something. I mean, you make $65,000 a year.
Barely.
Okay, so.
And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does. Kelly drops a harsh but revealing truth. Rose only pops up around December 31st, just in time to claim Caleb on her taxes. According to Kelly, Rose lists him as a dependent to get a bigger refund, even though she hasn't been the one raising him. Then Kelly hits her with another bomb, accusing Rose of claiming 8 dependents when she only has 1 child. Rose loses it, but the judge isn't buying the act. At this point, it's not just about poor parenting, it's about manipulation, plain and simple. While Rose has been chasing parties and paydays, Kelly's been the one actually stepping up for Caleb. And the judge? He's watching closely, keeping track of who's really been there, and who's just been cashing.
How long have you had the child? What's his name? Caleb.
Caleb, correct. Caleb has been with us about 1.5 years.
A year and a half.
Yes, because thank God they did a welfare check.
And you haven't received anything for a year and a half.
Absolutely not, but sorry excuses.
Hold on. It's not here to insult. I'm just asking questions. A year and a half, you haven't received anything.
Barely.
Okay. Obviously, this child is going to need to be taken care of because, everything in life is just ain't free. You just can't drop your child off and let somebody else take care of it.
I didn't drop him off.
She's taking care of your child.
I want him back.
She's taking care of. Okay, so how come you just now coming to court and saying that you just want him back? What happened to the past year?
I've been saying I want him back. She keep dragging me through the mud.
Dragging you through the
I'm unfit. I'm very fit. I go to
Ma'am,
the
I'm just going to say this. When you're talking about caviar and stuff like that, obviously you have other reasons. So this is what we're going to do. So
Are you? Judge,
hold on, ladies, hold on. Because we're not going to go there. Y'all sound like my family during Christmas time. So, Miss Ro Campbell.
Yes.
You see, you make $65,000 a year. Okay.
Now the judge gets straight to the point. No more drama, just facts. He starts asking for real numbers. How long has Kelly been taking care of Caleb? How much money does Rose actually make? Who's been footing the bills? Rose admits she makes $65,000 a year working in insurance, but hasn't contributed a single cent to Caleb's care. Not even the food stamps she receives make their way to him. Meanwhile, Kelly's been covering everything for the past 1.5 years. The judge doesn't waste time. He starts doing the math, and it's clear, this isn't just about money. It's about recognizing the weight Kelly's carried and the responsibility she never ran from. Rose claims she wants her son back, but the facts? They are telling a very different story.
You paying by your cousin $350. Your gross is $5,417, and 20% of that, with your net, is $4,401.57. Your high rim, 100 plus. We're gonna add that $163 to it. So basically, you got to pay something. You can't just let your cousin take care of all the business while you're thinking all high and mighty with pork chops and caviar. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, before we get to that, let me go ahead and get this before I forget about it. So, yes, you're going to pay. Okay? And the thing is, you're going to pay $1,043 flat. Nothing more, nothing less. But you need to be at home with if you wanted your child back so bad, it shouldn't have taken this long. Okay, you shouldn't be out there with the man eating pork chops and caviar while she's up there taking care of your child and not getting a dime. Am I mistaken about that?
None of the coins, silver or copper.
So before you have anything else to say, that is my decision. This case is over with. This is adjourned. You have my answer. All right, ladies, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The judge finally delivers his ruling, and it lands like a gavel to the chest. Rose is ordered to pay $1,043 a month in child support. No negotiations, no delays. But the ruling isn't just legal, it's personal. The judge calls her out, saying, "You had time for men's steak and caviar, but couldn't support your child? You left him for pork chops while someone else did the parenting." This wasn't a simple mistake, it was a pattern. And today, the court made sure the consequences caught up with her. Kelly gets the legal recognition she deserves, financial support, and, most importantly, a moment of justice she's earned.